Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. I'm wishing you all a very happy Guruvar, happy Thursday. So we'll begin where we stopped yesterday. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Datatre Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshme Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. We'll continue from where we stopped, that is chapter 39, the exposition of a specific verse from the Gita and the creation of the Samadhi Mandir. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra. My most humble obeisance, I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sainath. We stopped at verse 70. Just a quick recap, where Baba was talking to Nana about Jnana and Ajnana, a specific verse from Bhagavad Gita, and he was explaining how the Jnana cannot be instructed, it has to be experienced, which means it will reveal itself when you remove the Ajnana, that is the ignorance to the knowledge which the Guru imparts. So the Jnana itself is the supreme knowledge, that's the supreme truth. That cannot be instructed, or anybody cannot explain what is that self or who is this Parabrahman. You have to experience the self with your own realization, and that is what Baba is talking here. So let us continue from verse 71. To consider God and devotees as separate is the greatest Ajnana. Once this Ajnana is removed, what remains is perfect Jnana. I will reread this. To consider God and devotees as separate is the greatest Ajnana. Once this Ajnana is removed, what remains is perfect Jnana. So who is the devotees that is being referred here? The devotees of the God are none other than the sages and the saints. They are the Guru. That is why we say Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So Guru is the doorway to God. So if you differentiate between a Guru and the God, then that itself is an ignorance. Because the one who has manifested in the form of the Guru is none other than the God himself. So what makes you think that he is separate than the God? So there is no differentiation. And if you cannot, if you cannot have the love and devotion and the bhav, that is the bhakti of worshipping your Guru, then you will still remain in the ignorance. Like I experience this day in and day out with my Krishna Guruji. People cannot look at him as a guru. They think he's some ordinary human being. Why? Because they go by how his appearance. His ordinary appearance of this, the ordinary appearance of this human birth. They think that he is that body. In fact, he's not even born through that body. He is only manifested. It is like a garb that you don, like you are wearing a garment. You have just donned that garment. And you are here to impart that knowledge. So that is what the Supreme Divine Lord Almighty does. It manifests itself in the form of a Guru to impart that knowledge. What is the knowledge it is imparting? What is the knowledge that the Guru is imparting? Only God can explain who a God is. So how can anybody else explain to you who this God is? So that is why that knowledge of the truth can be revealed with the grace of your Guru, which is Moksha Moolam Gurur Krupam. So when the Guru is pleased, only then can you attain this moksha. Moksha means I'm not talking about the liberation. It is about realizing yourself. That is called self-realization. So the illusion of a snake in a rope is ajnana of its true nature. So this is the example, the aphorism which is mentioned in all the Veda Shastras, which is the illusion of a snake in a rope. Like you consider the rope to be the snake. But when you realize, oh, this is only the rope which appeared to be snake, then the illusion is destroyed. And when that ignorance is removed, then it is of its true nature. Then you realize the self. Knowledge of its true nature removes the ignorance, that is ajnana, and there remains only the true knowledge of the rope. Absolutely. So when that illusion is destroyed, then what remains is the knowledge of its true nature, which is jnana alone. That is, that truth is all it shines. That is why we say truth illumines itself. You cannot bring an illumination to understand the truth. The truth itself is self-illumining. and there remains only the true knowledge of the rope. So what remains is the true knowledge of the rope. What does it mean? That it is not a snake. So that is the rope alone. So that is what you realize. Gold is within. Gold is within, covered by a layer of dirt. Inside the dirt is in its scintillating radiance. But to make it manifest, fire is necessary. Very beautiful example. What does this mean? Let us understand. Gold is within, covered by a layer of dirt. Inside the dirt is its scintillating radiance. See, gold, right? When you have to purify the gold and bring the scintillating radiance, what do? You put it in a fire, so it removes all the impurities that dirt is there, and then it becomes the purest form of gold, which is also called by the name aparanji. Aparanji is the purest form of gold, and there is no dirt remaining, and there is no contamination to it, and there is no other metal mixed with this pure form of gold. And for it, how do you realize that pure form of gold? And until you don't put it in the fire and then don't purify it, how can you realize it? So you can't understand the scintillating radiance that it carries. It's already there within, but what has to be removed? The dirt, the impurities. Likewise, we have to purify our heart and mind and remove the ignorance that is covering that self, that truth, which is already self-illumining. It's already there within. It's just waiting to reveal itself. But for that, you have to go through that fire to remove all the impurities, to remove that ignorance. What does that mean? Going through the purification process with the grace of your master, and studying under the tutelage of master, who is going to walk you that path. He is the one who is going to purify you. But to make it manifest, fire is necessary. What does it mean? So the cleansing process is a must. So your Guruji is going to put an acid and just literally cleanse you. It's going to be a very powerful acid wash. Until he doesn't do that, you are going to remain a very ignorant human being, thinking that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the senses, I have a family to take care, I have to, I have a job to attend to, I need to, fulfill the desires of my family, myself, so many different things. So you will only be bound, you're going to be attached, and you cannot then get the discrimination in your life. So what does the Guru does? He, puts you into that fire and gives you, he burns all your impurities, burns your karma, removes your ignorance, and then you will be purified, and the knowledge will be self-illumining within yourself. Maya is the cause of the birth of this body, and the working of the body depends on destiny. The pairs of opposites too depend on the preordained. Hence, attachment to the body is ajnana. Exactly what I said, but I will reread this. Maya is the cause of birth of this body, and the working of the body depends on destiny. See, what does it say? Maya is the cause of the birth of this body. And why are you born? Because you have some karmic debts that you have to repay. So you take this birth. But please understand, human birth is the most blessed one to have. Why? Because only through this human body can you realize God. So what is the purpose of the human birth? The purpose of the human birth is to attain your spiritual being. Instead of that, we run after material worldly wants, desires. We are after all the glamorous, the glitz and glamour which the material world gives it to you. So it's an attraction. Come to me, come to me, come to me, look at me. What is that? That is Maya. So Maya is deluding you, and you get lost in that beautiful glamour of Maya. Maya is the cause of birth of this body, and the working of the body depends on the destiny. So how does the body perform or it work, and who it is associated with? All it depends on the destiny that you are born with. That is why we say, right, prarabdha karma is inevitable. You cannot override prarabdha karma. What has to be will be. So you have to work hard to expiate all the karma. But when you follow the path of truth and or on the path of dharma, that is righteousness, then you can override the karma. Override destiny means the event is going to happen, but it will be cushioned with the grace of the divine Lord Almighty. So the impact will never be felt, no matter what what the event is, what kind of calamity it is, what kind of obstacles it is. Everything will be overcome very easily when you are devoted and have surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Guru and the Lord Almighty. The pairs of opposite too depend on the preordained. What does it mean? The pairs of opposites, which means the good and the bad karma. So we always sway between the right and the wrong, the good and the bad. Whatever the good and bad that happens in our life is also preordained. You might think, oh, why did I lose my wealth? Why did I have to lose my job? Or why did I lose my child? Why did somebody die? Or, oh God, I became the president of some country, or I became the chairman of a big company. All that good and bad, the pairs of opposite, is also preordained, which means you're already born with that. So you're born with certain good karmas, you're born with certain bad karmas. In the sense, the pairs of opposite is already preordained, and you're going to experience those events. And when you get swayed by what is happening in your life, that is the favorable and unfavorable events, at that moment you're getting lost in Maya. Please understand, what you need to have is equanimity of mind, very perfectly understanding that everything that we are, who we are, the place we are associated, the body where we are associated, the place, time, everything depends on this destiny, what is preordained. But please remember this: when you're devoted to the divine Lord Almighty, none of this applies to you. You will be able to surpass everything, and then you have to commit your life in surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Guru, the Lord Almighty, and just doing your job, selflessly serving, doing nishkam karma, selfless action, and then no karma accrues to you. You're just sleepwalking this entire life of yours. How sweet and how powerful it is. It is absolutely redeeming. Just me explaining this, I literally feel something happening inside of me, a sense of freedom, a sense of joy. It's not a joy, it's a blissful state to be in, because you're not experiencing happiness or not, you're experiencing sorrow. You're not bothered of either of the state. This morning my Krishna Guruji was giving a very nice example. He was talking about a place in some country, where he was watching one of the videos, a documentary. And he said there, I feel very sad that these people don't even have food to eat. And the winter is so strong that what they do is they have a yolk, and then they milk the yolk. They dry the, they make that milk into, they ferment, not ferment, they dry that milk, and they make like the cake, they store it. And after storing it, when it is severe winter, during that period they use that powder to have that milk at that time, because they don't get any other meal. They can't, it's very difficult to get. And also they have these guinea pigs, which they grow, it's not a pet, but they have the guinea pigs in the house, so they let them be there. And what happens is, if there is nothing else to eat, sometimes they roast these guinea pigs and eat. What does that mean? So when you have nothing, whatever is available, you are just having, because you're eating that, because you have to survive. So that is one way to look at it. And you feel very sad for these people, right? And then my Guruji was saying, I'm going to go stay there. Then I don't have to listen to anybody. I'm going only looking at the yolk. He was making fun, but there's no fun. He's saying the real thing, because I don't have to listen to people. Because every single person, we are always talking about what is happening in our life and how bad our life is. We're only constantly talking about, oh, look, this is not happening, that is not happening. That is not why the Guru is here. The Guru is here because he wants you to evolve on the path of spirituality. But this very nicely explains that whatever this body that you have born with, it's whatever you're going through is a preordained, which is the working of, the pairs of opposites. That too depend on the preordained, which means whatever that you're experiencing, the favorable and unfavorable events are all preordained. But why are we going literally to God and saying, oh, look, something is happening in my life, I've lost my job, I'm losing my job, I need my job. We are always talking in that context. Oh, my mom is sick, my dad is sick, or something of mine is not doing well. But when everything is happening fine, at that time we don't want to remember him. So this is how the human nature is, but this is what we need to overcome. But at that moment when he explained this story, and I felt, it's so sad. We have everything, and yet we don't value all the blessings that God has bestowed upon us. We have a good house to live, we have clothes to wear, we have food to eat, and yet we crib that we want more. We need to be contented with what we have today, because there are a lot of people in this world that who doesn't even have a square meal a day, who don't have proper clothes to wear. And I was telling my Krishna Guruji that I think it is everybody's birthright to have the basic necessities of life, which is food, clothing, and shelter. That much is everybody's right. Actually, in one of the satsangs, I don't know in which chapter of Baba, in one of the chapters, Baba very clearly explained that the Lord only takes care of food and clothing. That is all He freely offers to you. But for anything else, you have to work for it. It is not going to come on a platter. So don't even think that you can sit and expect doing nothing and then God to give everything on a platter. That's not going to happen. The only thing that God will make freely available for you is your food and clothing. That is something He will always take care of you, so that you don't have to worry at all. But for everything else, you have to work. Doing your karma is very important. Action is very important. You can't sit there and say, oh, I need everything on my platter. No, even Lord Shri Krishna himself, when he manifests on this planet earth, he works hard. He sets an example for the world to follow. Though he doesn't have to do anything, there is nothing for him to achieve in this world, yet he does that. Why? Because he wants every other human being, his entire creation, to follow his rules, to follow the way of life, which is Lord Shri Krishna's way of life, which he has very beautifully explained in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Uddhav Gita. You can go listen to all these satsangs of my Krishna Guruji on Krishna Knows. Please do listen, and you will learn a lot from there. It's, for the rest of your this life and many other lives, he has imparted so much knowledge, but we don't make an effort to go use that knowledge and evolve on the path of spiritual. Please go read it and listen to it. Not read, I mean, go listen to the satsangs. You'll get a lot of knowledge. It's like a wealth of information there. It's not even wealth, I would say it's athanga sagar. It's limitless. How deep you want to go, you can swim in that deep. So this is what happens. And then my Krishna Guruji, so coming back to the story this morning, so I was telling, and then finally I remembered his satsang, in which he says, oh yeah, the story seems very sad, the moment I tell you they don't have food and the way I made it look. But why do you think they are there? Because of their karma. So that is what is mentioned here. Why are they there in that state is because of their karma. So everything is because of their destiny. And the pairs of opposite to, see, it's very beautifully explained here. The working of the body depends on the destiny. The pairs of opposite to depend on the preordained. So the working of the body which they have donned is also because of their karma alone. They have to expiate. That is why they are chosen to be there. So you and I cannot live somebody else's life. So be very grateful to your life. And there is no point in looking at somebody else and feeling jealous. Oh, that person has more, I don't have more. So when does the jealousy springs within you? So when you have a small hut, when you have no food to eat, and you're looking at the world and saying, look, they have everything, I wish I could have. That is when the envy comes in, the avarice happens, the jealousy comes in. But please know that with jealousy, all these evil propensities or the negative tendencies, we cannot attain devotion to the divine. What it means is simply, are you capable or are you able to accept the life which has bestowed upon by the Lord himself? But also it said, Maya is the cause of the birth of this body. Please understand. And then you can't blame Lord Shri Krishna that, he's responsible for your life. No, the Lord is not even concerned with what happens. That is why they are very nicely explained here. Maya is the cause of the birth of this body. It is not the Lord. So don't even blame anything to God. But what I'm saying is that, can you accept the life that you have as the boon from God himself? Why are you thinking that, oh, my life is very bad, I am living in such a miserable situation? See, nobody's life is bad. You need to understand, everything is depending on the birth of this body is because of the Maya alone, and the working of the body is depends on the destiny that you are born with, and the pairs of opposite to depend on the preordained. It is already programmed, it's preordained. You are going through this, you are going to go through the sufferings. The high and the lows are part of this life, this human birth. So there are no two ways about it, and there is no escapism from that. That is what I keep saying. So what is that you need to have? This is the devotion to the divine. Devotion to the guru is very, very important. When you have the company of the holy sages and the saints and the guru in your life, the real master, please make use of it. Don't waste that moment, because once lost, you're never going to get back, because time is never going to be coming back, and that same moment, the same place, that same situation is never going to be back again ever in your life. So don't lose. Many a time I have made these mistakes myself. Sometimes we get into our mind so much that you're unable to overcome, and you waste your time ruining over something that has no value. And that is why my Krishna Guruji will always keep saying this: live in the here and the now, because there is no tomorrow. We don't know if there is a tomorrow or not. So why are you wasting this moment? This moment lost is never going to come back. So value your time. And that is why Lord Shri Krishna in in Bhagavatam very beautifully explained that I am the essence of the time, which means he's the time himself. His time is himself, the essence of Lord in it. So why are you wasting it? So the Lord sees how much are you valuing. And if you don't respect and value the time, which is the Lord himself, and then where is he going to value? Where he's not going to wait for you. And then he's saying, okay, you be busy in your world, I'm going away. So the time is always going to be running. You try to catch it, you can't catch time. So you're always going to feel short of time. You're not going to be able to do anything in time. So respecting time and doing things in time is very important. And that is why, and when you respect and do that, Lord himself will be pleased. Then the time will be on your side. The divine Lord will be on your side. Know this, and then nothing shall befall you. Even the destiny will be cushioned, and you will be able to overcome that when you are devoted to the divine. I've explained this. I've took little extra time to explain this, because this is a very important lesson for everyone to understand. Because we conveniently forget. Yeah, when we are doing the satsang, we realize, oh yes, I should be like this. But what happens the moment you get back in your world? Then everything that we learned here is gone. It's somewhere in the back burner. We are not able to live those lessons, and that is why application of lessons are very important. Which means we come back to the same thing again. Sadhana, practice is a must. You have to practice. Arduous effort is very important. So hence attachment to the body is ignorance, which is nothing but ajnana. So don't get attached to this body. Don't think somebody is your mother, father, brother, sister, children. Nobody is yours. Please know that it's like a passenger. You meet people along the journey, and then once the destination is come, and then everybody part way. Similar is this life too. Yeah, we've come with certain set of people. Once this body's karma, everything is over, then we go back from in the elements from where we have come. And then there is no, again, any other association. So next life, you're not going to be born with the same family. So why is this attachment? Overcome this attachment. Hence, those who are detached have no consciousness of joy and sorrow. Only when the strings of this attachment die down will ajnana be dispelled. Oh God, this is extremely important. I have already explained, but let me explain it once again. Hence, those who are detached, the word here is detached, and most important criteria on the path of spirituality is dispassion, detachment, and discrimination. So what is dispassion? You cannot be passionate to anything in life, whether it is food, work, you name it. You have to do everything in a dispassion, with absolute dispassion. Then comes detachment. Detachment from what? We are always attached to our body. First is to the body, to the mind, to the senses. Then attached to all the relations with the body has my mother, my father, my grandfather, my children, my wife, my husband, you name it. And then it's my boss, it's my friends, it's my girlfriend. The relations are endless. So you're continuously attached to somebody or the other. Can you become detached? You need to understand, like we said, they are only the passengers in the train, or in the river, the logs of wood which comes together and then parts way after that. It's just only for a period in time. So what makes you think that they are there with you to eternity? No, be attached to the one who's there with you to eternity, and that is the Lord himself. So why are you forgetting this attachment of yours, who's a true family of yours? You are part of the Vasudev Kutumbam, not to that surname that you carry of yours. will say, oh, I am the Rao Khandan, or I am some Pawar family, or I am, Tendulkar. We have all these, we're very proud to say we belong to this family, we are from this. No, associate yourself to the family. Say that you are part of Vasudev. I am the family member of Vasudev Kutumba. Say that. Be associated with that family, which is the Lord's family. This entire universe is that, his family. So that is how the Lord looks at it. So then you will be able to detach yourself. And another way of becoming detached is when you say, Lord, you are the one Karta Dharta, means He's the one who's the caretaker of this entire universe. And you can say that I am not responsible for anybody in my life. I have surrendered unto the lotus feet of your, unto your lotus feet, and you do what is right for everybody. That's it. And you have to just keep doing your, like I said, your actions. You have to perform your duties selflessly. That is why it's called Nishkam Karma. And then you will be able to overcome the pairs of opposite, which is the joy and the sorrow arising of any event. Then you're not going to be worried if your mother is going to have sickness or your father is going to die. Nothing shall affect you. You know that they have perfectly attained the divine Lord Almighty themselves. They have attained the Lord Almighty Himself because you have been devoted to the divine. So the Lord, with absolute compassion and because of your devotion, you are also redeeming them. What is the redemption you give them? That they will be able to take birth in a pious family, and they will get an opportunity to walk the path on spiritual. To someday in their life they will meet the Guru, and that grace they will get, so that they will be given an opportunity to evolve spiritually. So this is the good that you will do to all those who are connected with you. So don't get attached to anybody, and don't get into this constant yo-yo of this mind between the pairs of opposites. Have equanimity of mind. That is what Lord Shri Krishna emphasizes and repeats it over and over again in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhav Gita, in every other scripture that he has, even in Srimad Bhagavatam. So how do you overcome that? Only through devotion to him. Nothing should deter you in life, no matter what happens. Do not be afraid. That faith has to be absolute. It cannot be 99.99%. You'll say, I have faith, but that 0.1001%, that doubt, then there is no absolute faith, right? Then you fail. The faith means I have surrendered and there is no looking back in that. That is the faith you need to have in the divine. And please know that everything that you go through is for your progress alone. Nothing shall befall. This absolute conviction you need to have within yourself. And when you have, you will be able to overcome the pairs of opposites. That's exactly what is mentioned here. Only when the stirrings of this attachment die down will ajnana be dispelled. Then the ignorance will be shed. Then you'll not be covered with that veil of ignorance, that ajnana. Ignorance of the true self is the source of Maya. Once this Maya is removed by the Guru's grace, oh my God, very important. The knowledge of the true self comes naturally. What does it mention? Ignorance of the true self is the source of Maya. So the self is covered by ignorance, and the source of this ignorance is Maya. Who covers this? How does she cover? Through the veil of attachments, to the veil of the destiny, believing that you're the body, to the association with your all the relationships and the pairs of opposites, which is part of the body, which is also preordained. We already did this verse, very, very nicely explained. And now, once this Maya is removed, how is the Maya removed? By the Guru's grace alone. The Maya is adheen to the divine Lord Almighty. She cannot, she cannot delude him. The only one who gets deluded is the human beings. We are born. The one who's created, that is the one who gets deluded. But with the Guru's grace, the Maya can be overcome. The knowledge of the true self comes naturally after that. Then the self reveals itself naturally. That is why it is called self-realization. I hope you understand this. This is a very important lesson. And for you to walk the path of the truth, you need to do all of this. Guru's grace is extremely important to overcome Maya. Without Guru's grace, Maya cannot be overcome. And she's always going to, smitten you with and delude you continuously. And then you will only be in that bondage. And there's no way getting out of that. So, Why exhaust yourself trying out other means, except the only one of God devotion? Even Brahmadev is governed by Maya, and the only means of release for him is devotion. Let me explain this again. Why exhaust yourself trying out other means, except the only one of God devotion? All you need to have is devotion to the divine. You don't need any other means. Why are you exhausting? See, yesterday we did so much of gymnastics, with this complex word of jnana, vijnana, the self, it felt overwhelmed. But what did I tell you? After going round and round, we come back to that one point. What is that one point? Love and devotion to your Guru and the God Almighty. That is all you need to have. When you have the purity of heart and surrender to the lotus feet of the Guru, everything else is taken care of. You don't have to worry about anything. So this is a very important lesson to have. See, at the end of the day, we are all coming back to that final point, which is God devotion. Even Brahmadev is governed by Maya, and the only means of release for him is devotion. Even Brahmadeva is not spared from Maya. She entangles everybody in her spell. You can't escape Maya because it is Lord's Maya. See, Maya is not the Lord, it is Lord's Maya. So the power is quite powerful. Her power is too powerful. And only with the grace of the Guru can you overcome, because the Guru is the self-realized being. And who is the Guru? Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. The Parabrahma is the Guru himself. So what makes you think he's an ordinary human being? Don't go by his appearance. Real masters do not reveal themselves because they want to keep you deluded, because they want to see how much faith you have. My Krishna Guruji will constantly test everybody, and it is not so easy to pass his tests. And I've seen this happening. Many a time, even I'll fall for his nth time, for his play of his Maya. It's very beautifully he'll portray and say some things. But when you have the devotion, someday you will evolve that, and then you will be able to see through that delusion and understand the truth. That is where you will have to stand your spiritual tests. And this is true of anybody, because the gurus want to see how much have you understood the teachings that has been imparted there. It is not just sitting and listening to the satsangs. Listening to satsang is one aspect, but like I said, you have to reflect, meditate, and you have to be in silence, contemplate, and then understand and realize, then evolve on that path. And if you don't do any of this, then how does your sadhana happen? Where is the practice that you're putting? It's simply like, yes, this scripture has this knowledge, and after I close this book, what the knowledge is in it? What use is it to anyone? Like my Krishna Guruji says, his father used to tell him that yes, there is money in the reserve bank, but what use is it to me if you're not going to have it when it is needed? Similarly, this knowledge is very good in this book, and we talking about it and studying about it, but if we don't go and practice, then we don't give our test. How do you know where do you stand? So you have to continue with that sadhana all your life. The devotion to the one. Just the word should bring tears in your eyes to the divine. That is the devotion you need to carry. The word Guru should bring, literally, you should cry. Your heart should melt at the word of the divine. Just Lord Shri Krishna, how sweet is it? He's so madhur. I'm sorry. It is such a beautiful state to be in that devotion to him. And everything that is happening around, you just have to just surrender unto his feet. And don't get bogged down with what happens, because this devotion is the only way for you to shore across. And who is going to show you? The Guru is the one who's going to show you across, and you'll be perfectly fine. But have this devotion. That absolute devotion is very important in this age of Kali Yugam, because this Kali's age is quite terrible, because it is full of tamas, and getting into tamas, it's very easy. The downfall is quite easy, but to rise above to being in sattva is very, very difficult. So be that goodness, have that good qualities, the virtues which describe a sattvic being. So you have to put tremendous amount of effort to walk the path of sattva. It is not going to come so easily. That is why my Krishna Guruji will always say, don't worry about how someone is behaving. Even if someone is slapping you, you be nice to them. Go do good to them. In fact, Sai Baba, in the earlier chapters we have read, where he's very nicely explaining, even if somebody does something bad to you, you do good to that person. Don't do bad to them. Don't do bad to anybody. It's like this, very, it's a very straightforward answer, right? You don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. So why would you want to do something bad to others? You don't should not. It doesn't matter how they are, how they behave. We understand that is their nature. Like the reason why the sages and the saints and the great masters don't get swayed by anything, by how people speak, what they say, it doesn't matter to them, simply because they understand their inherent nature. They know that every human being is always given into that nature. No matter how much he studies, whatever he does, he is always going to fall for his nature, and they are unable to overcome this nature. Lord Shri Krishna himself has very clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita that when you are born, that is when you are given that inherent nature, and which is right given to you at the at your birth, and that is something which is going to remain with you all through your life. But what does spirituality teach you is to overcome that nature. Can you overcome your nature? Can you control your mind? That is what spirituality teaches. It is about the sadhana. So have the devotion, and let me tell you, everything will be magic in your world. Miracles do happen. This life itself is miracle. The sun rising itself is a miracle. Everything is happening in the clockwork precision. Why? Because this entire universe, they operate, they perform consistently only because of the fear of the Lord Almighty. Everybody does perform. It is very nicely mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Someday I would really love to do Srimad Bhagavatam all over again. It's a magical text. It's describing the beautiful leelas of Lord Shri Krishna in that. It's an amazing scripture where you will completely emerge yourself. And in that he's mentioned very nicely that the sun, shines, the sun rises in fear of me. The wind blows in fear of me. Similarly, every other, this entire universe is performing in clockwork precision only in fear of the Lord. So similarly, we have to have that little fear of the Lord. Otherwise, we are never going to do anything in life. We are only going to sit and expect miracles to happen in our life. Miracles doesn't happen. It is you who make that miracle happen through your self-effort. If you think that is a miracle, that is a miracle. Magic is all around. Life itself is a miracle. And why do you think it is not a miracle? The fact that you wake up every day, the breathe. How beautiful is this whole creation? Life is very beautiful when you live God-pleasing life. Not the way you want it and live a miserable life. So, only when the stirrings of this attachment die down will Ajnana be dispelled. Ignorance of the true self is the source of Maya. Once this Maya is removed by the Guru's grace, the knowledge of the true self comes naturally. Why exhaust yourself trying out other means, except the only one of God devotion? So all you need to have is God devotion. Even Brahmadeva is governed by Maya, and the only means of release for him is devotion too. It's so difficult for even the deities. I'm talking about the small gods or the deities. They also cannot attain the divine without taking this human body, a human birth, and walking the path of devotion, walking the path of spiritual journey to realize God. That is the only way for them to attain the redemption and overcome Maya too. Even after attaining to the Brahmalok, there is no liberation without devotion. And if God devotion is missed out, even there, man gets caught in the cycle of rebirths. How profound is this? This is a very important thing. You think Brahmadeva means, he's attained some heaven? No, he has Brahmalok. But what does it mean? Even of attaining to the Brahmalok, there is no liberation. You can't get liberated without devotion. Devotion to the divine. And how do you attain the devotion to the divine? You have to take birth, you have to meet your guru, you have to walk that path of spirituality. You have to be in spiritual. You have to get initiated, you have to walk that path with your guru. And only then can you attain the love and devotion to the divine. And without God devotion, you cannot get liberated. So, and if God devotion is missed out even there, Man gets caught in the cycle of rebirths, which means you have to be born again and again and keep going through your karma, which is what happens. So you're sanctioning yourself the cycle of rebirths. There is no way out of it. Hence, to dispel this Maya, the one and only remedy is God worship. A devotee of God has no fall, nor does he have the bondage of worldly life. Okay, see, it's very sweet. What is it we are talking about? Everything is leading to one thing, that is bhakti, which is devotion, love and devotion to the God. When you have that, nothing shall bother you. Even the bondage of worldly life will fall off automatically. Someday it will happen, but you have to continue with your God worship. See, they're saying, the words are very clear. Huh? Hence, to dispel this Maya, the one and only remedy is God worship. So there is no other worship here. God worship is a must. You cannot say, I'm not going to worship God. No, you cannot say that at all. You have to worship God in absolute devotion. Whatever that your Ishta is, you have to worship. And if you don't worship, how can get devotion to the divine? It's a very important lesson for you to get. You cannot get the devotion without worshipping the divine. A devotee of the God has no fall. And once you become the devotee of the Lord, then there is no fall for you. Nor does he have the bondage of worldly life. And there is no bondage. Let me tell you, you're already free. When you have surrendered yourself, when you have put God as the highest priority, the number one in your life, there is nothing else for you to worry about. There is no fall after that. You please know that you are already attained him. There is no looking back, but just continue being that. You don't have to get attached to anything in this world. Then you will be. So it is mentioned, so there is no fall, and nor does he have the bondage of worldly life. Then that bondage will automatically get cut by the grace of the Lord himself. People say that Maya is illusory, but she is a great source. Um, she's a great sorceress and cheats even the jnanis at every step. But the devotees make her dance at the very snap of their middle finger and thumb. This is a very important lesson. You must understand, how do you overcome this Maya. People say that Maya is illusory, and she even entices and cheats even the jnanis. Jnanis, who are the knowers of the Brahma, who are the knowledge themselves. They have attained that Brahma jnana, they have attained the knowledge of the self. And cheats even the jnanis at every step. How does she cheat the jnanis? Let me tell you. The jnanis believe, I am that, right? They say, I have knowledge. Now, when you say I am that and I have the knowledge, she cheats you with the ego, making you believe you are that, you are the greater than Lord Almighty. And this is a very dangerous path. She very nicely tells you, oh, you're greater than any god. And this is one place where anybody can have a greater fall. Please know that to attain Lord Shri Krishna, once you overcome the ignorance with the sword of knowledge, you have to chuck that knowledge as well. And the only way to attain him is through love and devotion. No knowledge will be helpful at that moment in time. But what is that you have to overcome with the knowledge? The sword of knowledge is used for cutting the ignorance asunder. And then you chuck both, and then you attain love and devotion to the Lord. That's the only way. So here, what has happened with the jnanis? The jnanis think, I am knowledgeable, I have knowledge. The ego will rise in them. And with ego, you cannot attain the divine. So this is how she cheats them. And that is called Maya, which is illusory. So she entices them with that ego. Then what does she do? But the devotees make her dance at the very snap of their middle finger and thumb. So who is able to make her dance at the very snap of her thumb? The devotees of the Lord. Who are the devotees of the Lord? The gurus, the sages and the saints who have attained the divine. That is why you have to have the Guru's grace. In the previous verse, it's very clearly mentioned. Maya can be overcome only with the grace of the Guru, not anybody else. Then, when where even the great learned ones are deceived, the simple faithful ones hold their ground, for they have forever surrendered themselves at Hari's feet, while the jnanis suffer from the conceit of their knowledge. I already explained to you. See, where even the great learned ones are deceived, the simple faithful ones hold their ground, for they have forever surrendered themselves at the Hari's feet, while the jnanis suffer from the conceit of their knowledge. So don't acknowledge that you have any knowledge. Knowledge is, nobody can have knowledge. Please understand, the words today that is flowing from my mouth is the words of this, my Guruji's wisdom alone. I will never say that I have knowledge or I know something. No, you can never know, because this is Athanga Sagar. How can I understand? This mere mortal body has no knowledge. It has absolutely zero knowledge. And I didn't even understand what does it mean to be in spiritual till I met my Guruji. I didn't even know what spirituality, the S of spiritual, I didn't know. Like my Guruji will always say, what do you think? You know something too much, is it? No, we should never get into this ego thinking that, oh, if somebody praises you, oh, you'll think, oh, somebody's calling me Guru, somebody's saying, oh, you're giving nice satsangs. No, I'm sorry. I don't accept that praises. I don't even want anybody to call me anything, because I don't have knowledge. My Guruji is great. He is the greatest. Today, whatever the words are flowing from my mouth, the words are of his wisdom only. So don't get carried away by these praises. If somebody is praising, somebody is saying, insulting you, do not get swayed by either. That is why my Guruji teaches continuously. When somebody is praising you, think that they are calling you all bad names. They're insulting you. And somebody is insulting you, think that they're saying all the good things about you. This way, you will not be swayed by what is being told to you. You're not going to feel elated. See, if I feel elated even for a moment, oh, I understand all of this, then it is my fall for sure. That is Maya. Please remember this. Don't have this don't have this arrogance or ego of knowledge. And that is what happens to the jnanis. And that is why they will never be able to attain the Lord Almighty. But whereas the faithful ones, who are the devotees of Lord Shri Hari, have surrendered to him at his lotus feet, and then they can make Maya dance, with the very snap of their middle finger and the thumb. So she is going to dance to their tunes, because they are not getting carried away for any of them. They are Hari Bhakt. Lord, they are the devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. That is the truth. And when you are the devotee of the Lord himself, no Maya can delude you. But first, you have to have that absolute faith, that complete surrender, unconditional pure love, and exclusive devotion to the divine. So have that faith. While the jnanis suffer from the conceit of their knowledge. Hence, to get safely across this Maya, hold fast to the Sadguru's feet. Surrender to him single-mindedly, and the fear of worldly life will vanish instantly. Wow, how profound is this? Hence, hence to get safely across this Maya, hold fast to the Sadguru's feet. Surrender to him single-mindedly. What is that you need to do? Just let go like this. Surrender to him. Whatever might be, you just have to say, Gurudeva, whatever might be that happens in my world, you're my Karta Datta. You're my father, you're my mother, you're my everything of everything. You're the one who's taking care of me. I surrender unto your feet. And hold fast to his lotus feet. Have the devotion. Let me tell you, no Maya can ever, put that fear of worldly bondage, what is happening in your world. It'll just, like a snap, it'll all vanish. That is what is saying. And the fear of worldly life will vanish instantly. Why do you need to fear anything in this world? Everything is unreal. The only thing that is real is the divine Lord Almighty. So what makes you think that there is something wrong happening? You're losing a job. What is your fear? Oh, how will I run my family? Where is the money going to come from? All that is the fear of worldly life. All that will vanish instantly. This is what is being said here. This is the conviction you need to have. When you just surrender unto the lotus feet of your Guruji, he takes care everything for you. Just let go like this. Realize yourself. Be devoted to him. Be that Hari Bhakt. Be the devotee of the Lord. Always take his name. Hari Bol. That is what you have to do constantly. Take the name of the Lord, chant his name. Don't think anything else. I'm telling you, having the devotion is the only thing that you need to do in this world, because that is the only way out of this material worldly miserable life, the miseries that you suffer. That's the only way to overcome. Why do you need those miseries? Be devoted. The being in devotion is very divine. It's blissful. It's very beautiful. And you have to do service to the divine Lord Almighty and to the Guru and to this entire world. We have to serve. There is a purpose of this human body. Doesn't mean that you're going to say tomorrow, oh, I'm in devotion, I'm not going to do anything. No, sir. It's not like that. You have to do your job being lost in the divine. It doesn't mean that you are going to give away your material world. But okay, there is another way. Yes, you want to become the devotee, you want to become like Tukaram, Mirabai, then you have to give up everything. Then you cannot have any attachment, any enjoyment, no wants, no desires. You just have to wear one garment and walk around. Go away in seclusion. Be singing the bhajans and kirtans of the Lord. That is what you have to do. But when you are still in the material world, and then you have to overcome that Maya, the only way is to surrender everything unto the lotus feet of your Guru, and then just do your swadharma. And doing your duty, serving your purpose is very important. That is also the means of achieving the highest devotion to the divine. Why? Work is worship. When you do the work in the seva bhavana for the divine Lord Almighty, then you will achieve that bhakti. Like how Shivaji Maharaj ruled the kingdom by keeping the padukas of his Guru on the throne, and he sat next to the throne. He never sat on the throne, by the way. He kept the paduka of his Guru Samarth Ramdas Maharaj and led the country. He was a great king because he did that service as a work is worship, because it was Guru's ordained to rule the kingdom in a most powerful manner, in absolute righteous manner. Similarly, when you believe everything, the job that you're doing is the seva that you're doing to your Guru, to the God. God has given you this job, so you have to be very good in that job. So you are putting absolute effort in that. So work is worship. Then it is only a service to your Guru. Then it becomes a Guru seva. It's a bhakti offer to your Gurudev. Nothing shall befall you that time. Then you attain the devotion, and in that, when you're doing that swadharma, devotion is always going to evolve within you. Like how Shivaji Maharaj was the greatest devotee of Samarth Ramdas. And who is Shivaji Maharaj? He was an essence of Lord Shiva himself. So that is how it happens. And he's known for being a righteous ruler. He's known to have the most, he was a great king because he understood the art of ruling, how to be a great king, yet making sure he understands the political scenarios. He had perfect knowledge in the art that is required for him to rule the country. And yet he was the highest Guru Bhakt. He was the ardent devotee of his Guru, Samarth Ramdas Maharaj. That is how he evolved on the path of devotion, and nothing could, take him away from that. So whatever he did selflessly. He did a nishkam karma, serving the purpose of being born as a king. So everybody have to serve their purpose of being born as this human being, taking this human birth. But our goal always has to be to attain our spiritual being. So, when death is inevitable, let it come, but let not Hari be forgotten. Absolutely. And may the organs function according to the ashrama and varna, but let the mind meditate on Hari. And this is exactly what I explained now. When death is inevitable. See, death is inevitable. When you're born, you're anyways going to die one day. It's already predefined. It's understood. But what I don't understand is, why do a human being fear death? They're constantly trying to keep themselves well. They're trying to say, they're fearful about death striking them. My Guruji asked a very beautiful question. Today, if you see, there are a lot of people, in their old age. We take them to the hospital. We are trying to, make sure that they are healthy, hale and hearty. We're trying the best possible ways to keep them happy and, taking care of them. But he said, what happens at the worst come worst? They're going to die. You're going to die. I'm going to die. So why fear? One day they will all have to die. So why bother about it? Death is inevitable. But what is the most important thing that you need to remember? That let it come, but let not Hari be forgotten. So all you need to be doing is taking the name of the Hari. That should not be forgotten. Death, let it come and strike. How does it matter? At least we'll be redeemed. Oh God, I'll be very happy. I don't want to live in this world of misery and suffering and all that. Why do I need so many years to live? What is the use of living? You tell me, what are we doing in this world, living this life? The only purpose to live in this life is to attain that devotion, God realization, and serving His purpose. That is the true reason of our existence. And let the death come and strike. How does it matter? But when I am taking the name of the Lord Hari, no, I am very happy because I will attain Him. I let Hari not be forgotten at that moment in time. That is why you have to practice always taking the name of the Lord, so that whenever death comes, it doesn't matter, because when you are taking the name of the Lord, He is going to come and receive you. So only take the name of Him. May the organs function according to the ashramas and varnas. Yes, we have to follow our varnas and ashramas, right? All the different ashramas. You have to take, you have to be born, you have to do your job, then you have to, become a family person, then you go into the seclusion, take vanapastha ashram, and then you attain moksha, and then you leave this body. So there are different ashramas and varnas, which we have discussed, which means the purpose of this human birth. So you have to follow. So let it be. That's what he's saying. Let the organs, what he's saying, let the organs function according to the ashramas and varna, but let the mind meditate on Hari. See, the gunas have to perform in the gunas. Okay, the sense organs are going to perform. Let them all perform. Let these organs work, no matter according to the way it is defined as per the ashramas and varnas. But let the mind meditate on Hari. Let the mind constantly keep thinking about Hari alone and not anybody else, not on any other thing. And when you do that, no death can strike you, no Maya can delude you. You have already attained the devotion to the divine. You're only going to attain the divine Lord Almighty. So much of gymnastic of trying to understand what is the self, how do I attain, all that is not required. Just be devoted to Lord Shri Krishna, Hari Bhakt, Hari Bol. As the horses are harnessed to the chariot, so are the organs to the body. They are controlled by the intellect with the reins of firm resolution. This is a very important lesson again. As the horses are harnessed to the chariot, so are the organs to the body. What does that mean? It means the horses are wild. They are running hither, thither, hither, thither. So you have to control them. You have to take the rein and give it in the hands of the God. Let Him run the chariot for you, and they are controlled by the intellect with the reins of the firm resolution. What is the firm resolution? You surrender to the lotus feet of the Guru. He is the one who's your charioteer. He runs your life. Surrender to Him. Let Him control. And you just do your part of the deal. Just be devoted to Him. And then life is easy. You attain already. What else is there for you to attain when you have the Hari, when you have the devotion, God realization? That is the only thing you need to attain. There is nothing else. See, we did all these gymnastics and we have come back to that same point, which is God devotion. Love and devotion, bhakti. That is all you need to attain. Whoever might be your Ishta, take that Ishta and be very devoted till the end of your life. That's all you need. And keep chanting the same name constantly. You don't need to get into anybody's life. You don't have to get involved in anyone's life. All you have to do is your part of the deal, do your swadharma and be attached to the lotus feet of your Lord Almighty, your Guru. Then the mind is filled with doubts and resolves and tends to run wild as it pleases. And it is the intellect that curbs it with a firm control over the reins. This is again very nicely explained. I told you already. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna has beautifully explained this. They're all going to run hither, thither, hither. The mind is filled with doubts. What is the doubts? Oh, what happens to me? What will happen? No, when you have surrendered to the lotus feet of your Guru and the Lord, He's the one who's taking care of your life. So why the doubt? Never let your mind doubt even for a moment. Have that absolute conviction and surrender. Nothing shall befall you. Do what you're supposed to do. Rest everything. Let Him take care of your life. Why are you bothered? How things are going to work? Where is the money going to come? Whether you're going to get a job or not. Don't even worry about it. He's there to take care. Just have that faith. And resolves and tends to run wild as it pleases. So it has doubts and it resolves, and then it'll keep running here, there, disturbing you. So you don't get disturbed. Have that firm faith in the lotus feet of your Guruji and the Lord Almighty. And it is the intellect that curbs it with a firm resolution, with a firm control over the reins. So who's the one who's riding this chariot for you? The Lord. Surrender to him, give the reins in his hands and take. You're the one who's running this body. I am mere a puppet in the hands of a puppeteer. That is all it is. So let us, with this, we are already at the end of the hour. We'll stop at verse 85. I hope you understood today's lesson. It's a very important lesson. After all the gymnastics we have done, we have come back to the point, which is it's about grace of the Guru. God devotion is all you need to have. Surrendering unto him, everything is fine. He's going to take control of your life. Why are you bothered? You know how simple is that? But yet we can't do that. We think we are responsible. Get over this thinking I am responsible. Nobody is responsible except the Divine Lord Mighty himself. So surrender and your life is amazing. I'll tell you, Hari Bol. That's all you have to do. Thank you. Once again, wishing you a very happy Guruvar. I hope you had a wonderful satsang. Tomorrow as well, I will do at the same time in the morning, 8:30 a.m. to 9:30. I will see you all tomorrow for Sai Satcharita Parayan. Wishing you all a very good Thursday and have a wonderful day. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunatha Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.